Hey y'all, Jamie here, proud 56-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off, y'all, it was the other day. I got ill last week and I apologize. I'm fine now, but yeah, I was ill for a few days and then I needed a couple of days to recoup, so I apologize. Now, where last I left off, I had sold $3,000 worth of champagne in one night to one man for one kiss. Okay. And he had promised to buy me my breast implants. Yes. I had silicone injections in my breast in those days, and he wanted to pay for this surgeon in Mexico that supposedly specialized in removing the silicone injections and replacing them with breast implants because it was safer, to have the breast implants. Anyway, so the night that I sold the $3,000 worth of champagne, I had a deal with the owner of the bar, Mark, that I would get half of any champagne that I sold. I would get half the money, right? Well, Mark started telling me the morning that he was having to pay me the $1,500, this just doesn't seem fair. I pay the overhead, I'm supplying the venue, and all of that. And listen, he's not wrong. Yes, he supplies all of those things. The champagne's cheap. I know that. Okay. Yeah, it was an expensive champagne, I can assure you. But he gave me my 1500. He did give me my half of the money that I was owed. And after that, though, he did change his mind about what he was going to pay after that. And after that, he only wanted to pay a third for champagne. So, honest, y'all, I never sold champagne in the bar again. I served it. Like if other girls came in with a guy and the guy wanted to buy it for them, sure, I served it to them, no problem. But me selling it, no, that was the last time. Um, but I made another deal with him. Listen, I made another deal with him that if somebody wanted to buy me out to spend some time with me, they could buy me out for an hour or two for $200. Okay. If they paid the house 200, and then I would make them tip the other bartender that I was working with, to like cover for me for an hour or two. And then I would go with them and I would make my money. But you see, the problem with that was I was having to charge a fuckload of money to be able to pull a date, because listen, I'm sorry, but that's hard. Like $200 to the house, you got to at least get a minimum of two for yourself after that, just to even like cut even with what the house is getting, and you're getting the bartender tipped. So yeah, then you have to try to get tipped on top of what you're charging them. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Anyway, John Coyne. John Coyne was my new sugar daddy that had bought me the $3,000 worth of champagne that night. And John had promised me to get my breast implants, like I said. So I did not speak Spanish. I do not speak Spanish. But half of my closest friends in life have typically been Latinas. So I got a hold of my good friend Bianca and I asked her to get on the phone with me to the surgeon in Mexico and to set it all up for me, right? So she did. We got on the phone on a three-way call to Mexico and she started speaking to them in Spanish, and I don't know what the hell they're saying or what's going on, but at the end of the day, she scheduled my surgery for 30 days after the day that I met John Coyne. 30 days. Like they scheduled it for like 27 days or something like that. And it had been a couple of days after I'd seen him. So yeah, it got scheduled like immediately. It was scheduled immediately. And I was, needless to say, extremely excited. First of all, I was going to get to go to Mexico. John was a nice enough guy. He was a little clingy, but he was a nice enough guy. He was very good to me. Even though I'd only met him that one night at first, but over that month, there was a lot of talking, and I think we went out to dinner a couple of times, but nothing happened. Like nothing intimate happened between me and him at all, okay? And then it comes time for the day that we're supposed to go to Mexico. John comes, good old John Coyne, comes to my house in Laplace, Louisiana, and he picks me up for us to go to the airport, right? But when we get to the airport, okay, we go up to the counter to check in, And we find out that in order for me to go to Mexico, back in those days, this was pre 9/11. In order for me to go to Mexico without a passport, I had to have my birth certificate along with my driver's license. So, John and I had to reschedule for the next flight and go downtown to go get my birth certificate from City Hall and then get back to the airport and take a later flight that day. And I was over it. Do you hear me? I was over it. Okay. And then we get to Mexico. We land, and there's this couple, this little Mexican couple, are waiting in the airport with a sign with my name on it. And, so we say, okay. And we go over to them, and they have this big blue Suburban, this old rusty Suburban. And they pick us up, and they got our luggage and all of that, and they took us to the hospital. Y'all, the hospital was a clinic. It was I don't even know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. It was a clinica. It was a clinic. And so the night that we got there, yeah, that's when John Coyne wanted his payment for the breast implants, y'all. John Coyne decided he was ready to FUX. He was ready to fucks, okay? And I I didn't know what to think. Like I was kind of wrecked, but it was fair square. So we were in a hospital room when I had sex with him for the first time. And if y'all want to know how it went down and what happened and all, because it was crazy. Okay. And what happened the next morning? Be here next time, and I will too. I love you all. I love you all for watching, and I love you for the comments. I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.